We've looked at this before, but these are some more advanced points. Look at these two sentences. I am taller than you. I am the tallest person in my family. We already know the basic rules of comparatives and superlatives. If not, check out my other video on the subject. If you want to say how big the difference between one thing and another is, you need to use other words in your comparative or superlative sentence. So Paul is a touch, a bit, a little, quite a bit, a lot, far, much, a good deal, a great deal, better than I am at football. These expressions are in order, from a touch, which is only a little bit, to a great deal, which is a lot. This also goes for superlative adjectives. Paul is, by far, by some measure, the best footballer in the team. These are two expressions which mean the same thing. They mean a lot. Look at this sentence. The French restaurant is more expensive than the Italian one. It's possible to say this in a different way, but starting with the Italian restaurant. The Italian restaurant is not as expensive as the French one. Here we don't know the difference in price. The Italian restaurant is not quite as expensive as the French one. Here we know that the difference is small. The Italian restaurant is not nearly as expensive as the French one. Here the difference is big.
Let's look at the use of comparative adjectives. We use comparative adjectives to compare two or more things, people, or places. So two or more. Example. The cat is smaller than the dog. So in green we see the two things, cat and dog, that we are comparing. And we are comparing the size, in fact. And we are saying that the cat is smaller than the dog. And we use the word than after the comparative adjective to say what we are comparing something with. Here. So than comes after the comparative adjective and before the second thing that we are comparing with. So it separates the cat from the dog. Okay? The cat is smaller than the dog. This is the comparative adjective here. But sometimes it is more than one word. And that's what we're going to look at today. The rules. There is also another use of comparative adjectives, and so we can use them to compare one thing, person or place, but at different times. Okay? So this is last year. This is now. So it's the same person at different times. Jane is more active than last year. So this is one person. So we are comparing one person at two different times. Okay? So we are comparing Jane now compared to last year. Jane is more active than last year. Notice that we do not necessarily have to say the word now. It is implied in the sentence. And this time we use than after the comparative adjective to say what time period we are comparing something with. So here is than, and it comes after the comparative adjective and before the time period. So now let's look at the spelling and the rules for the form, because sometimes we have more than one word. So first of all, the rules for one-syllable adjectives. For most one-syllable adjectives, we add the letters ER. So hard becomes harder, tall, taller, short, shorter, small, smaller. So you see, this is very easy. We add the letters ER. Example: Mr. Jones is taller than me. Mr. Jones is taller than me. Notice here we have used a personal pronoun, me. So there is a rule here. When we use a personal pronoun after a comparative, then we use an object personal pronoun. And the object personal pronouns are me, you, her, him, it, us, and them. So if we use a personal pronoun, we do not use a subject personal pronoun. So we do not say, Mr. Jones is taller than I, because I is a subject personal pronoun. That is wrong. For one-syllable adjectives ending in the letter E, then we simply add the letter R. Nice, nicer. Fine, finer. Rare, rarer. Gold is rarer than silver. Okay? For one-syllable adjectives ending in a consonant, vowel, and consonant, so the last three letters, if they are a consonant, vowel, and consonant, then we double the last consonant and we add ER. Big becomes bigger, because the last three letters are a consonant, vowel, and consonant. So we double the last consonant, we double the letter G, and we add ER. Fat, fatter. Hot, hotter. Thin, thinner. So we see it's the last three letters. Consonant, vowel, consonant. We double the N and we add ER. And all of these words are one syllable. The weather in Spain is hotter than England. So this is England and this is Spain. It is hotter here. Two-syllable adjectives. So for most two-syllable adjectives, for most cases, then we use the word more than the adjective. So this time the comparative adjective is in fact two words. So careful becomes more careful. More famous. More peaceful. more pleasant, and more useful. And of course there are other examples. I lost my keys yesterday. I need to be more careful. I need to be more careful. So this is implying that I need to be more careful in the future. So we do not say, I need to be carefuler. Carefuler is wrong. Usefuler is wrong. We must say more useful, more careful. Two-syllable adjectives ending in the letter Y. Well, we change the Y to an I and then we add ER. Busy, busier. So we change this letter Y to an I and add ER. Easy, easier. Funny, funnier. Happy, happier. Jane is feeling happier than yesterday. Jane is feeling happier than yesterday. Okay? Two-syllable adjectives ending in ER, LE or OW. So these are exceptions. And so for most of these adjectives we add ER. Clever, cleverer. It's quite difficult to say it. Cleverer. Gentle, gentler. Narrow, narrower. Mark is cleverer than the other students. Cleverer. So clever is another word for intelligent. Intelligent. Okay? And for longer adjectives, so for adjectives with 3 or more syllables, then we always use more followed by the adjective. So it's very easy. More complicated. More enjoyable. More interesting. And you can see that try to say it using the other system. So try to say complicated-er. See, it's very difficult to say. Enjoyable-er. It's almost impossible to say. So that is why we use the word more. It is easier to say more enjoyable than enjoyable-er. Okay, so sometimes it is very logical. Jane thinks that skiing is more enjoyable than studying. More enjoyable. And irregular comparative adjectives. So there are some comparative adjectives which are irregular. They do not follow any rules at all. So good, the comparative is better. It is not gooder and it is not more good. It is only better. Bad is worse, not badder, not more bad. And far, we have two choices. We can either say further or farther. So we use superlative adjectives to compare one thing in a group with all of the other things in a group. So we have a group of things or people, and we are comparing one thing or person in the group with all of the others. Example: Mark is the tallest person in the family. Mark is the tallest person in the family. So there is a group of people. So there are four things or people, four people, and we are comparing one thing or one person, Mark, with all the others. Okay? So this is the superlative here, tallest. And we use the word the definite article. So we use the before the superlative adjective because we are referring to one specific person or thing. How to modify a superlative? We can modify a superlative in several ways. Here is an expression, one of the, followed by a superlative, followed by a plural noun. Great Britain is one of the richest countries in the world. One of the richest countries. So this is important that when we use this expression, the noun is plural. And this means that, well, there are several very rich countries in the world, and Great Britain is one of those countries. So we have a big group of all the countries in the world. Then we have a smaller subgroup of richest countries, and Great Britain is in that smaller subgroup. Very similar, some of the followed by the superlative followed by a plural noun. So this is the same as this, except this is the plural form. New York, London, and Tokyo are some of the most expensive cities in the world. Some of the most expensive cities in the world. So we say some of the because we are talking about several things this time, three things. And the meaning is similar. There are several very expensive cities in the world, and New York, London, and Tokyo are some of those cities. So again, we have a subgroup. We can also modify a superlative with an ordinal number. So what is an ordinal number? Well, let's have a look. So these are the normal numbers. We call them cardinal numbers. 1. And the ordinal numbers, they describe the order of something. The order of something. So first, for example, this is my first car. And so we have 2, second, 3, third, 4, fourth, and obviously many others. So we use ordinal numbers in an expression with superlatives. Let's look at an example. Well, this is the normal example. This is without an ordinal number. We have already seen this. This is simple. Mark is the tallest person in the family. But now we want to describe this person. And here is the structure. The plus ordinal number plus superlative. David is the second tallest person in the family. David is the second tallest person in the family. And Jane is the third tallest person in the family. Okay? And this person here, she would be the fourth tallest person in the family. Or we could say she is the shortest person in the family. Okay? So Mark is the tallest. We do not need to say first tallest. We simply say tallest. Second tallest, third tallest, fourth tallest, or the shortest. And we can also replace the with a possessive. Jane is my best friend. Jane is my best friend. Physics is her hardest exam. Physics is her hardest exam. So this is the possessive adjective here and here. Or we can say physics is Jane's hardest exam. This time we are using the person's name, and the possessive is with an apostrophe and the letter S. Let's look at the form. So for most one-syllable adjectives, we add est. Hard becomes hardest. Tallest, shortest, smallest. Example: Mercury is the smallest planet in the solar system. Mercury is the smallest planet in the solar system. EST. For one-syllable adjectives ending in E, we add ST. Nicest, finest, rarest. Jane is the nicest person in the office. The nicest person in the office. For one-syllable adjectives ending in a consonant, vowel, and then a final consonant, we double the last consonant and we add EST. Biggest. So we see we double the last consonant, the letter G, and then we add EST. Fattest, hottest, thinnest. Spain is the hottest country in Europe. So we are comparing one country, Spain, with all of the other countries in Europe. So we use a superlative. For most two-syllable adjectives, we use most plus the adjective. So here we are using two words. Most careful, most famous, most peaceful, most pleasant, most useful. This is the most peaceful swimming pool that I have ever seen. The most peaceful swimming pool that I have ever seen. Two-syllable adjectives ending in the letter Y. we change the Y to I and add EST. Busiest. So we've changed the Y to an I and add EST. Easiest. Funniest. Happiest. Saturday is the busiest day of the week for shopping. So we are comparing one thing, we are comparing one day, Saturday, with all of the other days of the week. So we use the superlative, busiest. Two-syllable adjectives ending in ER, LE or OW. For the majority, we usually add EST. Cleverest, gentlest, narrowest. David is the cleverest boy in the class. Cleverest boy in the class. So this means he is the most intelligent. And longer adjectives with 3 or more syllables, we always use most plus the adjective. Most complicated, most enjoyable, most interesting. This is the most interesting book that I have ever read. And another example is the example I gave earlier. David is the most intelligent boy in the class. Intelligent, because it has 3 or more syllables. Okay? Irregular superlative adjectives. And some superlative adjectives are irregular. So there are no rules and you simply have to learn them. And I'm going to show you the 2 most common examples. So good in the superlative is best. So we do not say goodest and we do not say most good. We say best. And bad is worst. We do not say baddest and we do not say most bad. Example: he wants to be the best footballer in the world. In my opinion, she's the worst actress in Hollywood. The worst actress in Hollywood. So these are very common and they are irregular, so you must learn them.